What's up? Today we're going to be talking about the Lord of Contagion. He's actually one of my favourites. So I'm going to talk some cool shit about him. Or I won't talk some cool shit. You won't know unless you stick around and watch. Boom! Let's talk the Lord of Contagion. So he is basically a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor. He's got all the stats that match it. He's the 5-inch move, the 2+ weapon skill and ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, 2+ save. He's also got the disease Terminator armor for a 4+, and the Lord of the Death Guard aura for reroll 1s to hit with core units. He comes with Disgusting Resilient, Contagious Nurgle, and Teleport Strike. He has a special ability called Vector of Disease. It gives you an additional 3 inches to your contagion range. So this dude is a prime piece of hardware to stick your sick ass Plague Company Contagion on. There's a lot of good ones. We'll go over them in their own video, but we might give some honorable mentions in this one for him. Let's talk about his weapons. He comes standard with a Plague Reaper. The Plague Reaper is a melee weapon. It is strength times 2, AP neg 3, and 3 flat damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Okay, so this can be switched out for 2 things. A Man Reaper and an Orb of Desiccation. Okay? The Orb of Desiccation is 6-inch range. It is a grenade, 3d3. So you're looking at least 3 shots, which is pretty decent. It's strength 4, AP neg 1, 2 damage, blast, plague weapon, and you can only shoot with it once per game. Now, being shoot once, it's not that big a deal. A lot of the time you'll play a whole game and probably not even get to use it because of the 6-inch range. Now, you can use it being a plague weapon. You can put the shred on it to make it 12 inches. But it's even for clearing like horde and sort of medium level kind of ribblies like Space Marines, things like that. The Man Reaper, it has 2 weapons profiles. You can either cleave, which is melee, strength +3, AP neg 3, 2 damage. Plague weapon, and it is a neg 1 to hit with that. Or you can go scythe, so you're hitting it full weapon skill with that. It is strength +1, AP neg 1, and each time you attack, you make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So being 5 attacks base, you can be throwing out 10 attacks. I love the Man Reaper myself. I think the Plague Reaper looks freaking cool, but I think the Man Reaper, in terms of just your ability to swap out to whatever's useful per game, it's a bit more toolboxy. This thing, the Man Reaper, it's got some sick potential for some of your contagions. So we'll just go to the contagions quickly, so I can read them out to you. Pathogens, I meant, sorry. So you've got Acid Malady, that straight up gives you an extra armor penetration. So when you're cleaving, you're at neg 4, and when you're scything, you're at AP neg 2. Not too bad. It's probably a bit too expensive though for what it does. Keep in mind these also, with your pathogens, they give you +1 strength. So when you go from strength 4 base, then you get your +3 for your cleave, that gives you strength 7. Now being able to neg people's toughness, so you're in the pretty much the highest toughness you can get in the game, which is 8. You're suddenly dropping that down to 7, so you're hitting it and wounding it with 4+ then. When you put on one of these pathogens, you're then popping that strength up, so it's strength 8. So then now the toughest thing out there, you're now wounding on a 3+. Alright, so that's quite useful. So I typically always stick a pathogen on this dude, regardless. The one that I like is Explosive Outbreak for him. Each time an attack is made with his weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. This is not cumulative with the Toll Keep ability, so Tollkeeper only works for shooting, and this is a combat weapon, so it's not going to affect you. This works great for either. So if you're coming up against something that's hard as nails, you want to kill it. The scythe ability, the cleave ability comes in. You're only rolling 5 attacks, but any 6s you get an extra one. You might get 1 extra one there. If you're up against a big horde unit, the scythe is also good. You're rolling your 10 attacks now that you might get 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, of the 6s. So you're getting all these extra hits that way. It's pretty good. The other one's Virulent Fever. Pretty good. That's the one that inflicts the more wounds when you're rolling a 6s to wound. So sticking on Scythe. So Scythe is usually +1, so that drops up to +2 with the strength given on there. So you're hitting things at strength 6. Most Space Marines come in as toughness 4 or Space Marine level things. That'll drop them down to 3, so then you're winning them on 3s. Orcs now have toughness 5, you're going to drop them down to toughness 4, winning them on 4s with reroll 1s. With your 10 dice, if you've hit with most of them, there's a relic in a minute I'll mention that will help you with that. Rolling a 6 to wound, suddenly you pop immortals as well and you're taking down a lot more guys. Both are great. The other 3, they're okay. The only one I'd probably consider would be the Corrosive Filth because it gives you extra damage versus vehicles only though. Yeah, so it's good if you need to get in there and clear up a vehicle. That extra damage can sometimes be enough. So being 5 attacks, that gives you the potential of 15 damage. He can possibly drop a vehicle on his own. The only reason I wouldn't do it is because it is situational, and the other ones can be used every time he's in combat. Warlord traits. So we've got the usuals for him. So if you want him to be more resilient, you've got the options of Revoltingly Resilient for the 5+ Feel No Pain, Hulking Physique for the extra wound, and the 1 to 3 will always fail. Or you got your Rotten Constitution. You don't need to take the Suppurating Plate Relic with it because he's already got 2+ save. It gives you an extra toughness, taking him to toughness 6, which puts him up in like monstrous creature toughness range. And anything that's a 1 or a 2 AP will become AP 0. And relics. He can take the Reaper of Glorious Entropy. Not too bad. It basically gives him a damage 3 Man Reaper. It means you can't put on a Contagion. And what it also does is it takes away your Scythe ability. It's basically just melee, strength times 2, AP and 3 and 3 damage. It's a plague weapon. And an unmarked 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target mission. So it's a little bit like a combination of 2. This can be given to a champion in one of your other squads though, so I'd probably look at doing that. You don't really need to give him the Plague Skulls because it comes with the grenade if you go the Man Reaper option. And the helm can be useful if you want the extra range on your to hit roll aura, and that's basically really the only ones I'd consider for him. Yeah, so contagions. So if you don't take one of the other contagions that we talked about, one of the warlord traits, you're giving one of the warlord traits from one of the companies. Being the extra 3 inches, usually those are the ones you're going to look at going for him, because that gives him just that. You got the range so he can get buffed up and take the range further and do something more useful with that. I like the Mortarian's Anvil. That one's called the Glowing Bloat. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend, and each time a model in that unit makes an attack, the hit roll and wound roll cannot be re-rolled. Okay, that can really nerf guys. I also do like this relic, the Mortarian's Anvil relic, the Wolf Insect Hive. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll. This really makes the putting immortals on the other units really, really effective. It also means if you don't roll a 6 to hit, if you do the other one that gives you the additional hits on a 6, you can re-roll it if you really want. So you can possibly, if you roll the 10 dice to hit from the Scythe ability, you could possibly roll all 10 and re-roll to try and get 6s to show for 20 hits. It's a long shot, but hey, the option's there if you want it. Poxmongers, I think. No. Ferryman. Ferryman have another Scythe relic. It basically is the same as your regular Ferryman's Scythe, except there's no neg to hit with it. You can't put any pathogens on it though, however, because it's then a relic. The Ferryman gives you the Droning Contagion, which nerfs your opponent's move. It means they half move. That's pretty strong. Stops guys sneaking off onto little other objectives and things like that. Alrighty. So that's the Lord of Contagion. Please let me know in the comments if I've left anything out that's interesting, cool, or whatever. Anything Lord of Contagion-y. So until next time, keep it real.